Our programs offer many languages. Please visit suprememastertv.com/schedule.
Now I have a whole different dedication of my life, and that is to try and get people to understand that if we're going to save planet Earth, we must do the same things that I've done for 44 years to save my patients.
Continue watching to find out more.
Vegan, because we know the true cost. It is shameless to try to cover up.
Tervieh, considerate viewers, I just said hello in Karelian, a language spoken in the Republic of Karelia. My name is Irina. The wise people of Karelia, thank you and your loved ones for protecting the health of our planet and every living being it sustains. Welcome to part 1 of our show, Dr. John McDougall, vegan, on the natural diet of humans. Dr. McDougall is a distinguished American physician, author of The Starch Solution, plus 12 other books, a public speaker, and a famous proponent of the low-fat, starch-based diet. On today's show, we'll learn about Dr. McDougall's journey of discovery into the benefits of this diet and the science behind it.
I'm a medical doctor, and that's what I am first of all. And for me to practice medicine, I had to learn a different cause of disease rather than it being hereditary or bad luck, which is what I was taught. That's how you have the misfortune of having all these chronic diseases. I had to understand that it was the food. It's the food that makes people well or makes people sick. And so in an effort to be a good doctor, a doctor that helped people, I had to change my own personal diet. And this happened to me back in about 1973.
At that time, many medical professionals recommended a standard diet that included animal people products, largely as a result of marketing and lobbying by the animal people industries. So how did Dr. McDougall discover that these were actually the cause of so much disease? Let's continue with his story.
What happened is I was a young doctor. I was working on a sugar plantation on the Big Island of Hawaii. And what I had an opportunity to do was to take care of people who ate differently. I took care of first, second, third, and fourth generations Filipinos, Japanese, Chinese, and Koreans. And these people had been raised in their native land, Korea, Japan, etc. And they had learned a diet primarily of rice and vegetables. And then they moved to the Big Island to have a new life. And there they married, they had offspring, they had children and grandchildren. And the children and grandchildren were influenced by Western living and Western eating. And so I saw the first generation always trim, never with heart disease, never with diabetes, working hard into their 80s and 90s, living on rice and vegetables. And the children who developed a more well-balanced diet, they got fatter and sicker, as they added the meat, the protein, the dairy, the calcium. They got fatter and sicker. So I made this observation almost a half a century ago And then because of my enrollment in the study of internal medicine, I developed a passion for the scientific literature. And what I found is that it's the food. That's why people are sick. They eat like kings and queens. They eat like aristocrats. And the wealthy throughout history were obese. They had the gout, they had diabetes, they had the sicknesses from eating the rich food. Well, once I discovered this, I knew why my patients were ill.
It's well known today that protein overconsumption has been linked to an increase in cancer and many other diseases in countries that use meat as their main source of protein. However, back then, in order to promote this healthier diet to his patients, Dr. McDougall realized that he needed to model it in his own life.
I had to make the changes myself because you can't tell somebody something you don't do. And so I realized I couldn't ask my patients to eat a starch-based diet, to give up the ice cream and the pork chops and the pizzas, unless I did it. And so I changed my diet back in 1976. Anyway, that's how I became a vegan, is in my interest to care for my patients. It wasn't because of my concern for animal rights and the abusive care of animals, which I'm quite sensitive to now. It wasn't because of my concern for the climate and the extinction of life on planet Earth. No, I wasn't interested in that then. I just wanted to help my patients get well. Now I have a whole different dedication of my life, and that is to try and get people to understand that if we're going to save planet Earth, we must do the same things that I've done for 44 years to save my patients. You know, some scientific research says your burden on the planet will be reduced by 80% if you switch to a vegan diet, but it must be a starch-based diet.
Dr. McDougall teaches that a low-fat, starch-based vegan diet is the natural diet for humans. Many people still believe that a healthy diet includes lots of protein-rich foods and worry about whether they are getting enough. Should vegans share these concerns? Fortunately, Dr. McDougall explains that finding the right balance is easy as long as we eat the diet intended for us long ago by our Creator, which he says is vegan, high in starch-based foods, and lower in protein and fat than the standard Western diet. This diet has come to be known as the McDougall diet.
The nutrition was balanced a long time before I arrived on planet Earth. You know, there have been organisms on this planet for 400 billion years. And there have been mammals for hundreds of millions of years. And there have been human-like creatures for, say, 4 million years. And nobody had a dietetic handbook or a dietitian to guide them through food choices. The foods were properly balanced long before we were ever born.
There's been considerable debate around whether eating carbohydrates causes weight gain and whether people trying to lose weight should reduce their carbohydrates. Dr. McDougall explains that eating our natural, starch-based diet leads to a healthy weight as well as curing most chronic illnesses.
If people are underweight, a starch-based diet will cause them to gain weight easily. And they'd be underweight because they were sick. And of course, a starch-based diet leads to most of the people curing themselves of chronic illness. So they would start eating more then, or if they were starving themselves, they would gain weight if they ate a starch-based diet. But you know, that's not the problem. The problem has been being too fat.
Fortunately, humans naturally prefer starch-based foods. Dr. McDougall explains that this offers great hope for a return to our God-given vegan diet.
Well, people naturally like starches. The human being is a starch eater. People find eye-appealing various curry dishes over rice, marinara sauce over pasta, mushu vegetables over rice. These are appealing to people. They not only look good, but they also smell good. Whereas animal foods are disgusting. And the only way you can eat them is to cover them heavily with sauces or salt or sugar. It's been my experience. You can't find somebody that's willing to eat boiled chicken or boiled beef. You know, they keep wanting to put steak sauce or salt or soy sauce or some type of covering that will disguise the disgusting flavors.
Extensive scientific research has been done into the McDougall diet. Let's hear about one of these studies from the doctor himself.
We have done and published 3 major studies on the effect of the McDougall diet, which is a starch-based meal plan, on people with various chronic diseases. One study, we looked at 1,703 of our patients who'd been through my 10-day residential program. They came and stayed with me for 10 days. And we looked at the results of all these people. And what we found is in a period of 7 days, they lost more than 3 pounds, eating as much as they wanted. They got an average drop in cholesterol of 22 milligrams per deciliter. Their blood sugars improved. Their blood pressures improved dramatically. And yet nearly 90% of the people who went through the program were able to reduce or stop their medications. The second study was done independently by Oregon Health and Science University, a medical school in Portland, the medical school in Portland. They independently studied my program for several years. The average weight loss in a year was nearly 20 pounds. The average drop in cholesterol was nearly 20 points at the end of a year. Most importantly, we found that 85% of people complied with the program. They ate the diet. 85% of people ate the diet. Why? Why? Because the results were so dramatic and the food tastes so good. There was a third study done in New Zealand where some doctors studied my program in a community setting. They found the average weight loss was 25 pounds. People stopped their medication, and they also complied with the program. They ate the food. They love the food. You love the food.
Our appreciation, Dr. McDougall, for your dedication to caring for and educating so many people about the many benefits of a healthy, plant-based, low-fat, starch diet. May your noble work continue in heaven's divine love and blessings. To learn more about Dr. John McDougall's program, please visit drmcdougall.com.
Be vegan, make peace, do good deeds, or check out if your whole body has grown hairs like a beast.
Insightful viewers, thank you for your company today. Please join us again next Tuesday, April 12th, for the conclusion of our program. Coming up next is The World Left Ukraine to Fight Alone, Part 7 of 17 on Between Master and Disciples, right after noteworthy news. May you be blessed with the healthy diet God intended and the clarity of mind and spiritual upliftment it fosters.
Our programs offer many languages. Please visit suprememastertv.com/schedule and suprememastertv.com/VEG.
Nos programmes offrent plusieurs langues. Veuillez visiter suprememastertv.com/schedule et suprememastertv.com/VEG.
Nuestros programas ofrecen varios idiomas. Visiten suprememastertv.com/schedule y suprememastertv.com/VEG.
저희 방송은 다양한 언어를 제공합니다. 다음을 참고하세요. suprememastertv.com/schedule 그리고 suprememastertv.com/VEG